Yarigul, Ingadgul, Baranid, Yagu, Barabigul, and in doing so, I acknowledge elders past, present, and emerging. Yanu, and thank you. Welcome to this very special launch of the Home Flown exhibition from Blak Douglas. I used to be Simon Marnie, and it's my pleasure to be here today. To kick things off, I'd like to introduce somebody who, in previous governments, was Minister for Aboriginal Affairs, Minister for Arts, and Minister for Tourism. And so please welcome to the stage the Honourable Ben Franklin, MLC, President of the Legislative Assembly.
But it's my pleasure today to act as host for tonight's opening of Home Flown. Blak Douglas is one of Australia's most important contemporary artists. He's fearless, he's thought-provoking, and he is deeply original in the way he engages with identity, politics, and culture through his work. Thank you, Blak, for your artistry. Thank you for your insight, and thank you for your willingness to challenge and inspire us through your work.
That was when the Indigenous Art Prize was created, so it gives me great pleasure to welcome to the stage the Honourable Meredith Bergman.
And I begin, as I always do, by acknowledging that we're here today on the land of the Gadigal and pay tribute to their elders. Always was, always will be. But Blak Douglas is not only an important New South Wales artist, he's an important international artist. And we're honoured to have his works on our walls, so thank you.
Would you please welcome to the stage Adam Douglas Hill, Blak Douglas.
No better introduction could be welcome to a great man like yourself, Simon.
Thank you.
And you already beat me to a couple of my acknowledging notes here, but I'll just go through a couple because I'm going to come straight back to that great woman over there, and the reason why I asked that great woman to come and speak alongside the great Ben Franklin. Firstly, acknowledging the Gadigal, the grass tree mob, and Gurawa, the whale dreaming, pertinent to this country here. The Darug, upon whose land I was born in Bungarraby in Blacktown, where I was raised, there in further western Penrith. And yes, I'd like to also bring note to the vigil that taken place at Town Hall this evening for Kunjai Baby Girl. It's really odd being here, really surreal being here right now and celebrating an exhibition opening, given that I was also standing on the street yesterday for the land rights protest. So I had an interesting little moment where I was standing with Rachel Perkins and another dear friend of mine, and the attention was drawn amongst a group of aunts that I was having an exhibition here. So we're in the epicenter of a heated protest. If you're not familiar with what's going on there, you will find it on NITV's social media. I'm not going to bag out the Premier, Chris Minns, too much, but I do feel like I have the lectern tonight. And if I didn't say something noteworthy on the matter, I would be seen as a veritable gammon CUNT amongst the people that were there yesterday. So I will say that, honestly, Chris, what's going on? Are we in 2026 or are we in 1901? So things need to be readdressed. I'll let you do your fingers do the walking on what I'm talking about, if you're not too familiar with that. I came here with two sentiments in mind, two little plans of attack, and one, it might be considered quite dastardly, and that was to bring the great Ben Franklin and Meredith Bergman on this stage amongst the fantastic First Nations team here, the Aboriginal team led by Joe Stewart, and Damon Gulladong, and of course the curatorial staff and exhibition staff. And I wanted to hear those words and be reminded that we had once a designated art award here solely for New South Wales Aboriginal artists. Because sadly, we get quite left behind in the rest of the continent when it comes to art awards. Let me draw attention to one, the National Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Art Award, who consistently award the first and second prizes to either AP Waylands painters or Arnhem Land painters or Torres Strait Islander artists. Fair enough, that be said, but I was actually approached by the curator some years ago who asked why we don't get an influx of New South Wales Aboriginal artists. Pre-Ziggy's day in Telstra as CEO, the award used to kindly send a truck, a TNT courier truck, a semi-trailer that would pull up out the side of your house, and you loaded your artwork in there and it was transported free to Darwin. That's the kind of thing and the respectful thing that we should be embracing for Aboriginal art competitions today en masse. Do you agree? Yeah. Then old Ziggy took the reins as CEO of Telstra, and not only did he cut the catalogue, which was quite thick and juicy, and gave an image of the artist, the finalist artist's work, and the blurb on the accompanying page, he cut it down to only 6 pages, which covered the award winners in the 4 categories. Also cut the transportation budget. And so why don't we get an influx of New South Wales Aboriginal artists? Because most Aboriginal artists I know can't afford the $1,200 crate freight to get up to Darwin there. So that's why the Parliament of New South Wales Aboriginal Art Award was pivotal for artists of New South Wales origin. And that's why I dastardly, in my dastardly plans, standing before you to ask Parliament of New South Wales via Meredith Bergman, Ben Franklin and John Mundine to reinstate the Parliament of New South Wales. I'm sure once the Strait of Hormuz opens up, everything will be loaded again and we can just easily fund that to happen again. I need to acknowledge my dear sponsors at Colourmaker Industries, Thermoplastic Paints, the wonderful David Stewart and Patricia and Wendy Croxford. If they didn't supply me the paints that I can produce my art with, I wouldn't have been able to go to town and dollop that stuff on to get those effects on those pieces over there. Claire Tennant Workshop, Kink Fab of Marrickville, who worked tirelessly with me to break tradition on the technology to beat the curvature on the surface of the boomerangs to get my custom text laser etched into those artist-proof pieces over there. Art Van Gogh, Sean McElboe, Sean here somewhere. Thank you for your never-ending service and generosity. The wonderful Celeste O'Hara, standing out there. How often do you say your own name? Angie Goto, dear artist friend of mine, for organising the Auslan, the ladies tonight. Julian Edwards, Jeffer Gallery, Julian Edwards Fine Art. He's the guy that will help you acquire something for your collection tonight, or something for something to give away at NAIDOC week. I'm not going to expand too much, but I just wanted to, and Meredith, thank you for bringing focus to the words that I've written in those. You can go to town on those, and the QR codes will take you to the catalogue statements as well at your own leisure. This is not to detract from what I culled my words because just because I think we all want to look at art and drink the great parliamentary beverages that we probably partially pay for So, but in recalling the words that I did cull, I will say this, that for 26 years I've watched my brothers and sisters in various forms of existence, perhaps unassumingly being adhering to painting this style of stuff. Now, I don't want to detract from that, because I did sit, when I first began painting, I did sit in a workshop where a single Koori mother with 4 kids had to paint something to make an income. I completely pay that. John Mundine took me into Goulburn Jail to run workshops with the brothers in there, all of whom consistently paint the same kind of stuff. Same stuff comes out of Long Bay Jail Gallery, and unfortunately that's basically the fundamentals of why this is adhered to. It's because ever since I began painting, they told me that it's the stuff that sells easily in the tourist market. Those brothers and sisters, many of course whom are unjustly incarcerated, they haven't reached the crossroads of Aboriginal art like I have, and have the luxury of doing so. So some would perhaps say it's conservative. More to the point, I wanted to create some kind of a healing for myself and for perhaps others who can witness and read these statements and engage in these works and translate those works. Because we need to move on from here. So I'm calling this moment to move on. And what I've been painstakingly doing, workshopping kids in high schools in art, is to ask them to look for the 7 male and female First Nations artists that they weren't aware of. To distinctly take them away from accidentally falling upon what you will get on your phones if you Google right now, Aboriginal art. So we need to move away from that, because people, these kids and all of us, not only do we need to become more comfortable with the language of the country that we reside on, but also knowing artists like Ioane Scarce, Destiny Deacon, Tracy Moffat, arguably the most famous living Aboriginal artist today. Gordon Bennett, Gordon Siren, Gordon Hookie, the 3G network I call them in the day. My favourites. And it goes on, the list goes on, as you know. And of course, there's no better exhibition to visit right now than Tony Albert's triennial down in Canberra, Ngunnawal country, to get that. This concept has been distilling for some 26 years with me, since I began painting. And the product that we see here now are historic contemporary artefacts, a combination of time immemorial cultural practice and state-of-the-art fabrication. My final acknowledgement regarding the unique aluminium suite that's sitting on the table over there simply goes to that mysterious little feral kid from Mad Max. The one who threw that metal boomerang, who I've frothed about ever since watching that movie in the cinema and wondering, why didn't somebody make a metal boomerang? Thank you very much for having me here.